run and modify your first verse program in UEFN. Hey everyone, in this video, I'll walk you through creating, running, and tweaking your first verse program inside Unreal Editor for Fortnite UEFN. It's super simple. Let's dive in. Getting started. First, launch Unreal Editor for Fortnite UEFN. If you're unsure how, check out my previous video or the official documentation. Now let's set up a new project. 1. Open the project browser and go to Feature Examples. 2. Find Verse device and select it. 3. At the bottom, name your project My Verse Project and click Create. Adding your first verse script. Once your project is ready, 1. In the menu bar, go to Verse Explorer. 2. Locate your project name, right-click, and select Add New Verse File to Project. 3. In the Create Verse Script window, choose Verse Device as your template. Building the verse code. Before adding the verse device to your level, you'll need to build your verse code. 1. Go to the menu and click Verse, Build Verse Code. 2. This will compile your verse scripts and make sure everything is ready for use. Adding the verse device to your level. Now let's add the verse device to the level. 1. Open the Content browser and navigate to All, My Verse Project Content 2. Drag Hello World device into your level. Playtesting your verse code. Let's see it in action. 1. Click Launch Session in the toolbar to start playtesting. 2. In the Save Content window, select Save Selected to save your work. 3. Checking the log. 1. Press Escape, go to Island Settings, and switch to the Log tab. 2. You should see Hello World. 2 + 2 = 4. If you see this, your verse script is working. Modifying the code. We're making some tweaks to our verse program and diving into some hands-on coding. We'll open up our Hello World Squirrel device.verse file, add some code, and see it in action. Let's get started. Step 1. Open your verse file. First, let's locate our verse file inside UEFN. 1. In the menu bar, go to Verse Explorer. 2. Find your project's name and double-click Hello World Device.verse to open it. This will launch Visual Studio Code VS Code. If you don't have it installed, you'll be prompted to do so. Go ahead and install it. Step 2. Understanding verse in VS Code. VS Code comes with a built-in verse extension that highlights syntax, checks for errors, allows you to compile and push changes directly. This extension is pre-installed with UEFN, so no setup is needed. If it's missing, restarting UEFN should reinstall it. You'll know it's working if you see these buttons at the top of VS Code. 3. Writing some code. Now let's add our first line of verse code. Look for this section in your file, verse on begin override, suspends, void equals. Right underneath, add verse print. This is my first line of verse code. Your updated file should look like this. Print, this is my first line of verse code. See those text symbols in the file? Those are comments. They don't affect the code, but help explain what's happening. Step 4. Save and compile. Once you've added the code, save the file and compile it. 1. Click Verse Build Verse Code in the UEFN toolbar. 2. If everything is correct, you'll see a green check mark. 3. If there's an error, a fat red stop icon will appear. Click it to check what went wrong. Tip: if you run into an error, double-check for typos or missing quotation marks. Step 5. Run the code. Time to see it in action. 1. Click Push Verse Changes in the UEFN toolbar. 2. Once the update is complete, open the main menu and start the game. 3. Open the log and look for text tag. This is my first line of verse code. Success. Bonus: understanding execution order. Code runs line by line. If we add verse print 2 + 2 = 2 + 2. Right after our first print statement, the log will display text. This is my first line of verse code, 2 + 2 = 4. Change the order? The output changes too. This is called sequential execution. Hashed troubleshooting your code. Compiler errors, typos, missing brackets, or incorrect syntax. VS Code highlights these in red. Bugs. If your code compiles but doesn't work as expected, use print to debug. Example: verse print 2 + 3 = 2 + 3. This will print text 2 + 3 = 5. This technique is called string interpolation. They allow us to insert values into a string. What's next? You just wrote and executed your first verse code. Next, check out Learn the Basics of Writing Code in Verse to dive deeper. If you found this tutorial helpful, like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Happy coding! Let me know if you need any adjustments.